When NASCAR fans talk about drivers who haven't won in the Daytona 500, they talk about Tony Stewart, Mark Martin, and Kyle Busch. Rarely anyone talks about Brad Keselowski. Brad has been running in the 500 since 2010 and has never won in 16 tries. Today I will dive into every 500 attempt that Brad Keselowski has done and analyze the horrible luck that Brad has had in the Daytona 500. Now, just before we jump into this, Brad Keselowski has won a Daytona. He has won in Daytona twice, won in the Coke 0400 back in 2016, and he won in Duel 1 in the 2022 Daytona 500 Speed Weeks.
Car spins and gets collected down off the banking between turns 1 and 2. Regan Smith is in it. Brad Keselowski and Keselowski's teammate, the 77 Sam Hornish, are all involved.
It didn't take long for bad luck to strike Brad Keselowski here in the 500 attempts. He had a rear tire go down on lap 8 of his debut, and he spun in front of Regan Smith and Sam Hornish Jr., basically killing his car. He spent over 30 laps in the garage and ended up finishing 36 out of the 43 entries in his debut. 2011 brought the tandem package here at Daytona, and Brad Keselowski was able to lead 9 laps, but this happened on 34 to go.
You got me, Trevor?
Oh, trouble.
Yeah, who's this?
Turn 3.
Hey, bud.
Into the wall goes Keselowski.
They were 3 wide getting in there. I was just about ready that there was going to be trouble in turn 3, and sure enough.
And
Brad Keselowski sure got a taste of what Robbie Gordon could do early on in his career when he's around you on the racetrack. Robbie gave Brad a bad push in turn 3 and it spun him around, and he collected a few other cars, but all in all, another bad result for Brad Keselowski, which gave him a 29th place result. Brad didn't lead any laps in the 2012 Daytona 500, but he was running mid-pack, and maybe he'll get a good result. Maybe third times will be the charm.
oh, trouble, big trouble. Mid-pack. Sliding and spinning into the infield, McMurray. And sliding up the racetrack, one car going to coast to the bottom. That's Eric Almirola.
For the second time in his first 3 attempts at the Daytona 500, Brad Keselowski had a DNF from a tire failure. This time it was Jamie McMurray who had blown a left rear tire and spun up into the middle of the pack, which took out Brad Keselowski and ended up getting run over by Eric Almirola, which actually sent him in the air for a while. Brad Keselowski had a DNF from this and finished a whopping 32nd in his 3rd attempt. 2013 was almost no different than the previous 3 years for Brad.
Or no, Kane gets around, slides across the track. Dillon misses him. More carnage down toward turn number 1. Montoya, Harvick.
A real low apron.
All with damage as the caution comes out.
Brad Keselowski did get involved in this accident here, but got away with very minimal damage. After King got turned around in front of the field, Brad made a little bit of contact with Juan Pablo Montoya, which gave him a little bit of front bumper damage. And then I think a little later, he got a little bit of damage off of Kevin Harvick right there. Like I said before, Brad Keselowski had very minimal damage, so it kept him in the race. But with 63 to go, he got involved in another incident.
They were some of the
trouble, turn 1, guys.
One car down, spinning. Trevor Bayne up to the wall, collects another. That is Carl Edwards. The 5th wreck that Edwards has been involved in this spring.
Brad Keselowski got the good end of the stick this time around as well. After a bad stock up in the second pack, he got turned around, but was able to save it with very minimal damage still. After this accident, Brad Keselowski was able to dig his way through the field and prove that the damage wasn't that bad on his car. He was able to lead a lot of the closing laps of the race and was training the field around on the high line and even taking out the dominant car, Jimmy Johnson, for a while. But after a debris caution with 10 laps to go, Brad Keselowski got basically hung out to dry and had little to no help. Jimmy Johnson and the rest of the field kind of zoomed around him, and he lingered in the top 5 and top 10 until the last lap. When Dale Jr. and Mark Martin jumped out of line, he went with them. He got by Danica Patrick and Greg Biffle and was able to get to the line and actually was able to finish at Daytona 500 on the lead lap. This time around, Brad Keselowski actually had a good performance and finished P4 in the 2013 Daytona 500. Brad was up front all day in the 2014 Daytona 500 and was in the position to pass Dale Jr. and win it. After Ricky Stenhouse peeking 3 wide on Kyle Busch, Brad lost all of his help afterwards because Ricky Stenhouse Jr. never got to the back bumper of Brad Keselowski. Brad then side drafted Denny Hamlin and Jeff Gordon throughout the entire last lap, and then he didn't get a run until it was too late after the wreck happened behind them. The caution did come out, though, in favor of Brad Keselowski, which gave him his first podium in his Daytona 500 attempt so far. In his 5th attempt, giving a 3rd place finish. Unfortunately, 2015 was really the start of the downward spiral for Brad Keselowski. After very minimal damage after hitting Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in this crash on lap 41, with 40 laps to go, his engine expired. And then afterwards, everything just went downhill. Well, I wonder where all of that junk, where's Brad Keselowski? Oh wait, he made it through the wreck. Brad Keselowski made it through the big one and was in contention for the win. Finally, once again, Brad has a chance. With 25 to go, he's up to 4th after a pit cycle. And with 11 to go, he gets up to 3rd, passing Cole Custer. And then with 2 to go, he passes Kevin Harvick to be in the best possible spot. Coming to the white flag. He has his teammate he has to get through, Joey Logano. Can he get by Logano to win the Daytona 500? This is his best chance yet. He has a Ford teammate of Michael McDowell in tow. Can he help Brad Keselowski win his first Daytona 500?
No, they come down to block. Logano goes back up. Keselowski with him. McDowell in tow. Dillon on the bottom.
It runs on top. Oh, teammates.
Around they go in a hard crash. Kyle Busch.
Larson.
Caution is out.
Bubba Wallace is in this. Austin Cindric, hard hit by Kyle Busch.
Caution's out. Had to run, made the move, and it didn't work out.
Thanks, Brad.
And you got to feel for Brad here. He has only finished 5 of his 12 attempts so far in the Daytona 500. And in his best possible shot of winning one, he ends up with the worst possible crash he's had here at Daytona in his career. A horrendous outcome for Brad Keselowski, but with the next-gen car, maybe things will start turning around. Brad Keselowski had his best Daytona 500 performance in 2022, leading a career high at Daytona and doubling his previous laps led compared to all the rest of the races of 67 laps led. He was in prime position to win again, but with no help from Chase Briscoe out back, later on the final lap, he never got a run generated to win the Daytona 500. They entered 3 and 4, and he got into a side draft contest with Blaney until Briscoe hung him out to dry, and he lost several positions, making him finish a measly 9th after basically dominating the race, and add insult to injury, he wrecked after the line. 2023 was similar to 2022 with a great performance. With 42 laps led by Brad Keselowski, he was leading with 10 laps to go with help from his teammate Chris Buescher in tow, but ended up getting shuffled out, and on the last lap got caught up into a big wreck and hit the wall head-on really hard, ending his day and not finishing once again. As Travis Pastrana came down the racetrack, Brad Keselowski was right there and got hooked up head-on into the outside wall. A very similar outcome for Brad Keselowski in the next year's race in 2024. He got hooked by William Byron with less than 10 laps to go, riding in second. Ended up taking him and several others out of the race. And once again, with another DNF for the 6 car. This year's Daytona 500 was no different than any of the other ones for the most part. Brad Keselowski got caught up in several accidents, including this one with 15 laps to go, but it kept his car minimally damaged until 5 laps to go when Christopher Bell got turned around in front of the field and Ryan Preece flipped over. Brad Keselowski got clipped, ended up going spinning around, and hit a few other cars afterwards, and it killed his race. He went several laps down, but ended up finishing the race, but with another poor result for that 16. So I think there is a recurring trend that we can all agree on, and that is Brad Keselowski has horrible luck when running into the Daytona 500. Here's a graph shown on the screen of his finishes in the starting spots. As you see, some stand out, like 2013 and 2014 with his great finishes, and then like 2015 when his engine blew up when not a lot of cars were out of the race, so he finished outside the top 40. You can see his best starting spot being 3rd in 2022, and just a lot of up and down and not really a lot anywhere on top. But here are some stats here. He's only finished in 7 of the 16 attempts. He finished 2 of them in 2014 and 2016 without any incident on track. He's led 180 laps. His average finish is 23.4, which is horrible for a Cup champion. And his average laps led per race is only 11.25. But yeah, I think we all can agree here that Brad Keselowski has not had the greatest luck here in the Daytona 500. And maybe he'll get one before he retires. But at this rate, it is very unlikely, and it just only seems like his luck will continue as we go on and on throughout his career. I hope you guys all enjoyed, though. I hope this was a very interesting video, and we're going to sign off here. This is Timothy Brown, and I'll catch you all later.